The landscape in Thousand Oaks is shifting rapidly as we navigate this high-stakes offseason. We are seeing a complete recalibration of the defensive backfield, a high-profile departure to the NFC East, and some difficult personnel decisions that will define the identity of this squad heading into the fall. From Sean McVay expressing early confidence in his new-look secondary to the movement of key contributors, there is a lot to unpack. We have 3 critical stories to break down today that directly impact the trajectory of this franchise.
As we move into mid-March of 2026, the buzz around the Rams facility is centered squarely on the defensive backfield. Head coach Sean McVay has been vocal in his internal assessment of the new cornerback tandem, and his confidence is striking. It is rare to see a coach this early in the offseason cycle express such a level of certainty about a position group that has seen significant turnover. When you look at the tactical evolution of this defense, it is clear that Sean McVay has prioritized versatility and high football IQ players who can handle the complexity of the current scheme. The transition to this new pairing suggests a strategic shift toward a more aggressive, man-coverage-heavy approach that allows the front 7 to pin their ears back and attack the quarterback. By securing these specific cornerbacks, the organization is clearly betting that the secondary can hold up under pressure, allowing the staff to be more creative with their blitz packages. Analyzing the personnel, this is not just about raw athleticism. It is about the ability to process routes in real time and adapt to the high-tempo offenses that permeate the NFC. Sean McVay has always been a coach who trusts his eyes, and his endorsement of this new duo indicates that the front office has successfully identified players who fit the specific cultural and schematic requirements he demands. The salary cap implications of these moves are equally fascinating, as the team has managed to navigate the financial constraints while upgrading a critical area of need. From a historical perspective, this move echoes the team's past successes, where a dominant secondary acted as the catalyst for a deep playoff run. Looking ahead, the pressure will be on this tandem to integrate quickly during the upcoming minicamps. If this unit gels as projected, we are looking at a defense that could be significantly more dangerous than what we saw last season. The coaching staff is clearly comfortable with the current roster construction, and that confidence often trickles down to the players themselves. It is a bold move to commit this early, but it reflects a front office that is not afraid to lean into its vision. But that is not the only situation developing in the secondary right now, as we have seen some unexpected departures ripple through the roster.
If you're enjoying this deep dive into the Rams roster moves, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily updates. We have plenty more breaking news to get to right now.
The news cycle has been dominated by the departure of a key defensive back, a player who recorded 7 interceptions last season and is now heading to a team in the NFC East. This development serves as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities of the NFL's business model. Losing a playmaker with that kind of ball production is never an easy pill to swallow for the coaching staff, specifically for Les Snead, who has to balance the books while maintaining a competitive roster. When you analyze the loss, you have to look at the scheme impact. Losing a player who can bait quarterbacks into turnovers is a massive blow to the secondary's overall profile. This move leaves a void that will require not just a replacement player, but a shift in defensive philosophy to compensate for the loss of that specific ball-hawking ability. The NFC East is a division that demands physical play, and it is interesting to see this player transition into that environment, where the competition is fierce and the offensive schemes are varied. From a strategic standpoint, Les Snead has clearly made a decision to move in a different direction, perhaps prioritizing different physical attributes or contract structures for the upcoming season. While the fan base might be frustrated to see such a productive player leave, we have to look at the broader picture of roster construction and the long-term vision for this team. Perhaps this was a necessary sacrifice to address other areas of the field that were neglected in previous seasons. The analytics of this move suggest that the team is banking on internal development or a more committee-based approach to replace that high interception count. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. If the new secondary pieces can collectively account for that lost production, then the decision will be vindicated. However, if the turnover rate dips, the front office will undoubtedly face scrutiny. We are seeing a trend here where the team is becoming more disciplined with their spending, moving away from high-cost veterans in favor of younger or more scheme-versatile options. This shift is characteristic of an organization that is looking to build a sustainable window of contention rather than chasing immediate short-term fixes. The impact of this departure will be felt in the locker room, as this was a player who commanded respect through his production. As we look at the remainder of the roster, the question remains, who will step up to fill the void left by this departure?
The defensive rotation is undergoing further scrutiny today following the news that a defender who recorded 37 tackles last season has officially left the team after just 1 year. This is the kind of roster churn that happens in the modern NFL, but it highlights the volatility of defensive depth in the current era. Mike Macdonald has been tasked with building a cohesive unit, and the departure of a player who contributed significantly to the tackle totals requires a re-evaluation of the team's depth chart. A player with 37 tackles provides a floor of consistency that is vital for any defense, especially when dealing with the grind of a 17-game season. His departure forces the coaching staff to rely on younger, less experienced players who are now being thrust into elevated roles. This is a critical moment for the development of the secondary and linebacker groups. From a tactical perspective, this change affects how the team handles rotation and personnel groupings. If you lose a reliable tackler, you potentially lose the ability to play certain schemes effectively against the run or in short yardage situations. Mike Macdonald will need to ensure that the remaining players can maintain that level of production without sacrificing the integrity of the defensive front. The scouting report on the players currently on the roster shows that there is talent waiting in the wings, but the transition from a reserve role to a regular contributor is always a massive step up. The organization is clearly prioritizing a specific type of athlete, perhaps someone with more lateral quickness or better coverage skills, as they move away from the profile of the player who just left. It is a delicate balance between retaining experience and chasing potential. The financial flexibility gained from these moves is likely being redirected toward other key positions, but the immediate impact on the defense cannot be ignored. We are looking at a squad that is in the midst of a significant identity transformation. The fans want to see consistency and growth, and the only way to achieve that is through successful integration of these new pieces into the established defensive framework. As we look ahead to the draft and remaining free agency opportunities, the front office will likely be aggressive in finding depth that can replicate or exceed the production they lost. It is a challenging time for the team, but it is also an opportunity to build something new and potentially more resilient for the long haul.
There is no doubt that the Rams are undergoing a major transition this offseason. Between the new confidence in the secondary and the departure of key defensive contributors, the team is shaping up to look very different next season. Whether these moves will pay off on the field remains the biggest question of the year. Do you think the front office is making the right calls by moving on from these players, or are they taking too much risk? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insider updates. We will be back soon with more news from the facility.